The story of the patient is especially tragic. An elderly man was discovered dead in the basement of a private New York hospital. Portions of the hospital had gone unused for decades due to poor management and shrinking resources. The administration had gone into a panic when one of the long-term care patients had gone missing one night. No matter where they searched, he couldn't be found, and soon a missing persons report was filed. They had thought the man, having been diagnosed with dementia, had simply wandered out of the front doors. But the police searching the nearby areas could not find any sign of him or locate anyone witnessing him leaving the hospital. It was a mystery that wouldn't be solved until a few weeks later. The hospital started seeing signs of rodents and insects coming out of the vents. Thinking it was an infestation, they hired an exterminator to eliminate the pests. What the exterminator found in one of the sub-basements was a poor missing patient. He had been found under one of the working lights. His body was very pale, aside from his legs, which had black bruises everywhere, and his eyes. They were simply gone. It was assumed that after he passed, the local rodent population had started consuming him. With the body found, the hospital was put under investigation. There wasn't any answer forthcoming until a whistleblower came forward and shed light on how the whole situation happened. Elderly abuse from a few of the hired staff that escalated way too far. The employee in question had delighted in giving the man wrong directions to get back to his room, and unfortunately, in this case, the man never made it back. Before the staff could get charged or even fired, the whistleblower recanted his statement and quietly resigned from the hospital. Seeing that a few of the accused employees were connected to the hospital owners, it was obvious that the things were said behind the scenes to get the whistleblower to take back his statements. Sadly, that isn't the end of the story. A few weeks later, after the elderly man's funeral, people, both patient and staff, started getting lost in the hospital. They would claim that they would be walking in one direction and suddenly find themselves in the basement with no clue how they got in there. It would take them hours and hours in the near darkness to find their way out. The people getting lost would frequently disappear for longer and longer periods, and when they emerged or were found, their skin would be paler, bruises could be found on their legs, and their shoes would be missing. The hospital would keep it under wraps, stating that people were playing pranks in bad taste, until one day a doctor and an orderly went missing. People saw them getting into an elevator and never coming out. A week passed, and even searching the whole hospital would reveal no signs of them. Another week passed, and then the two were found. Well, a dead doctor and a heavily traumatized orderly were found. The survivor was soon admitted to the psych ward as he kept claiming to do not answer over and over again. Both were pale, covered in black bruises, with only the doctor missing his eyes. In an interview with the survival psychiatrist, in the few lucid moments that the man had, he explained that he and the doctor had found themselves in the basement, and no matter where they went, they could not find the exit. The survivor continues that soon they both saw a twisted version of the deceased elderly man. He was described as being stretched out, almost reaching the ceiling, and his skin was paper white with black bruises everywhere. The old man then asked them for direction. The doctor was the first to respond, and the survivor remarks that the old man kept repeating the question, and soon the doctor asked the same question over and over as well, even as he tried not to. The old man then walked away into the darkness, and doctor followed him, constantly repeating the question. The survivor, according to the psychiatrist, had to be sedated afterwards, and it wasn't long until the survivor vanished from his room, having written on the padded walls in his own blood, "Don't answer his question." People kept disappearing, with a few never reappearing, and soon the hospital was forced to close quickly, being condemned. It is warned not to enter any area of that hospital because there is someone still wandering the halls asking for directions.